will now be transferred to an advisor. Please make sure you have your Jacobs reference number ready.
Mine also. I'm phoning Jacobs because I have not paid my council tax.
Good morning, this is Jacobs. Can I take your Jacobs reference number, please?
Hi, yeah, it's 81111.
Yeah.
8.
Okay, what's your name?
Danny Bamping, Bamping.
Do you have an email address for Mr. Bamping?
Yeah, I do. It's Danny at noparty.co.
No party.
Noparty.co. I stood as an independent candidate last year in the election, and I set up an independent movement called the No Party.
I'm the party pooper.
Okay, you've come through to Mariana. How can I help you today?
Mariana, is that you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely name. Yeah, I'm just phoning Mariana because I've had this notice which has been hand-delivered through my door about unpaid council tax enforcement, and it's for £2,500, give or take 15 quid. Yeah, and I'm just a bit confused really because it says removal within 24 hours. You have failed to satisfactorily respond to our previous correspondence. I've not had any. As the enforcement agent in charge, I've now been instructed to proceed with the removal and sale of your goods. This may take place in your absence. If you want to avoid this, you must pay in full immediately. And then there's a chap's name, Mr. Havelock, and his mobile number. But I thought I'd phone you guys first before I disturbed him. This is for council tax, isn't it, Mariana?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it's a civil matter, correct?
Okay.
Yeah, it is because it's not.
Yeah.
But
the council, yeah.
Yeah, and it's for council tax. It's not a court fine, so it can't be enforced like a court fine.
Basically, the council went to court to get a liability order.
Okay, so just a couple of things on that. So if I don't respond to Mr. Havelock, can he come to my premises and force entry?
No, he'd come to your property on peaceful terms. He wouldn't be able to force entry to your property.
So if
to let him in, or the door can be open.
Right, okay. So if I don't let him in, he can't come in?
No.
Right, okay. So if he can't come in, he can't remove any goods because he can't get to the goods because the goods are inside, not outside. I'm just a bit confused because I understand if it was a court fine, then he'd have different powers, and obviously then that can escalate to the High Court enforcement, and they can come through with the police and and knock down your door basically. But that's not the case with this. That's why I wanted to check.
Like I said, he wouldn't be able to force entry, as we do. Obviously, the agents do enter on peaceful terms.
So I'd have to basically consent.
You'd have to consent, but if the door is open, he would be able to visit your property.
Well, yeah, I'd like to know if he's got a copy of the liability order. Be interesting, because when I emailed the court and asked them for a copy, they said they didn't have a copy and to contact the council. And when I contacted the council, they wrote back to me and said,
"We ain't found shit.
We don't have a copy of the liability order because it doesn't exist as a physical piece of paper."
No, the agent will have a copy of the liability.
So Mr. Havelock will have a copy of a liability order that the council say doesn't exist as a physical piece of paper.
I don't believe you.
I've not paid council tax for a decade, Mariana.
Right.
And I don't intend to start now. So eventually they will come to my house, because it's always a civil matter, and they will come with the police and say, "We've got an arrest warrant for you, Danny." And then they'll take me to prison, and I'll be there for 60 to 90 days. And while I'm there, the debt will be reduced on a daily basis of around 45 to 60 quid. And then when I come out, I'll owe zero. So effectively I'm getting paid about 50 quid a day while being in jail. Tax-free, I may add. And obviously I'm getting free board and accommodation, free use of a gym, free use of a library, and I'll be able to sit around all day and watch TV without the need for a licence because all the prisons are exempt. because it's a civil matter, I don't have to wear the prison clothing, so I'll be able to walk around in my tuxedo and stuff. And finally, as a non-practicing lawyer and a private investigator, I'll probably get loads of new customers, because there'll be loads of interesting people in there wanting maybe a kind of Better Call Saul type lawyer. So from my perspective, the whole thing is a charade. It's a bit like your legal notice here, removal within 24 hours. It never says anything on this piece of paper to say, I need to consent. This is pure scaremongering and fear tactics, not just by the council, but obviously you guys as Jacobs, as enforcement agents, acting on behalf of the council. I'm not having a go at you, Mariana. You've got a lovely job, and I understand you've got to speak to people like me on the phone every day. But I'm just explaining I'm not like everybody else.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Are you still there, Mariana?
Yeah, I'm still here, yeah.
Did you listen to all of that?
I did.
If I didn't know the law and the legislation that this is enforced under, I'd be shitting myself, excuse my French, if I got this through the door. But because I know it's complete twaddle, and they can't do anything unless I open the door to Mr. Havelock and say, hey, come into my private property and nick all my stuff, which isn't actually mine.
What I'd recommend is giving Mr. Havelock a call, just to obviously have a discussion with him over the phone. Okay, Mr. Vamping?
Yeah, thank you, Mariana, for listening to my blurt. You have a lovely day.
And you, thanks for your call.
All right, darling, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Take it easy, dude.
Your call is in a queue and will be answered when an advisor is available. Please continue to hold.